Chrisley's daughter, Savannah, also posted to her own social media feed, first thanking President Trump for commuting her parents' sentences and her followers for all of their support. She's really been at the forefront of trying to get her parents' convictions overturned.
From the glitz of reality television to the cold confines of federal prison, Todd and Julie Chrisley's journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. And now, a shocking twist. Just months into his second term, President Donald Trump picks up the phone, not to call a world leader, not to address a crisis, but to dial two reality TV kids from the Oval Office. His message? Your parents are going to be free and clean. This is the story of the Chrisley's, convicted of financial crimes, imprisoned, then suddenly pardoned. And it's not just about them. It's about power, perception, and presidential privilege. The rise of the Chrisley's. Todd Chrisley was never your average businessman. With a flair for fashion, finances, and fatherhood, he parlayed his southern charm and bold personality into a hit reality series, Chrisley Knows Best. Premiering in 2014, the show gave viewers a look inside the life of the wealthy, outspoken Chrisley clan. Todd was the boss, Julie the elegant and supportive wife, and their kids, Savannah, Chase, and Grayson, offered up youthful energy and drama. America tuned in. The Chrisley's became overnight celebrities. But as their ratings climbed, so did the suspicions. Behind the scenes, fraud, loans, and lavish living. Prosecutors claimed the entire image was a lie. In 2019, the illusion shattered when federal indictments accused a couple of bank fraud, tax evasion, and conspiracy. Authorities said Todd and Julie conspired to defraud Atlanta area banks out of more than $36 million in personal loans. How? Fake documents. Falsified bank statements, artificially inflated assets, and the money used on luxury vehicles, designer brands, and first-class vacations, all while avoiding tax payments. Todd reportedly owed over $500,000 to the IRS and hadn't filed taxes between 2013 and 2016. The trial that gripped America. In 2022, the couple stood trial in Atlanta. The courtroom drama was almost cinematic. Emails, testimonies, banking records, all revealed a careful orchestration to sustain a fraudulent empire. Prosecutors said the Chrisley's not only committed financial fraud, but were arrogant about it, flaunting wealth even as they dodged their obligations to the government. In November 2022, the hammer fell. Todd Chrisley was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Julie? 7 years. They reported to separate federal prisons in early 2023. Their show was canceled. Their empire crumbled. Savannah's crusade and the fight for freedom. While Todd and Julie were behind bars, someone else picked up the fight. Savannah Chrisley, their daughter and a rising influencer. Savannah wasn't silent. She took to Instagram, podcasts, and talk shows defending her parents, criticizing the justice system and demanding answers. She accused the courts of bias. She claimed the media turned her family into clickbait. Most notably, she claimed the punishment didn't fit the crime. According to Savannah, this wasn't justice. This was personal. The Oval Office call. Trump steps in. Then, something few expected happened. On a quiet Tuesday in May 2025, Savannah and her younger brother Grayson received a call from the Oval Office. Not a lawyer, not a reporter, but President Donald Trump himself. He told them he was planning to pardon their parents the very next day. It's a terrible thing, Trump said on the call, but it's a great thing because your parents are going to be free and clean. Wish them a good life. Grayson, in a voice cracking with emotion, replied, Mr. President, I just want to say thank you for bringing my parents back. The official pardon. White House spokesperson Harrison Fields confirmed the news. President Trump is always pleased to give well-deserving Americans a second chance, especially those who have been unfairly targeted and overly prosecuted by an unjust justice system. By Wednesday, it was official. Todd and Julie Chrisley were pardoned. The federal crimes, the convictions, the prison terms, gone. The Chrisleys walked out of prison. Just like that. Public outrage and political implications. But not everyone was celebrating. Legal experts warned the move sets a troubling precedent. Political commentators called it reckless. Families of nonviolent offenders still serving long sentences question why celebrities with fame and connections got a second chance, while others are forgotten. Critics argue this isn't justice, it's favoritism, a reward for loyalty, a PR move for a president eyeing re-election. Trump's pattern of pardons. But this wasn't Trump's first headline-making pardon, and certainly not his most controversial. Just days before pardoning Todd and Julie Chrisley, Trump granted clemency to Scott Jenkins, a former sheriff of Culpeper County, Virginia. Jenkins had been sentenced in March 2025 to 10 years in federal prison after being convicted of accepting over $75,000 in bribes. In exchange, he allegedly appointed a group of wealthy Virginia businessmen as auxiliary deputy sheriffs. Titles that came with badges, but no real policing responsibilities. Essentially, it was a pay-to-play scheme dressed up as law enforcement. Prosecutors said the appointments provided these businessmen with law enforcement credentials, which they could use for personal prestige or leverage. Trump, however, painted a very different picture. Jenkins and his family have been dragged through hell by a corrupt and weaponized Justice Department. Trump declared, "This type of language has become a hallmark of Trump's second-term justice messaging. He frames these pardons not as reward for loyalty, but as acts of justice against what he calls a politically motivated legal system." Trump's critics say this is deeply dangerous, a misuse of presidential power, a growing list of political allies and reality TV stars being rescued from hard sentences, while ordinary Americans continue to languish behind bars. But to Trump supporters, these pardons are acts of compassion and strength, standing up to a system they see as elitist and weaponized against their values. And with the Chrisley pardons, Trump didn't just win fans. He gained headlines, support from the entertainment world, and once again dominated the media cycle. What now for the Chrisley's? So, where do Todd and Julie go from here? Insiders say a book deal is already in the works. A podcast, a documentary, maybe even a return to television. One source close to the family revealed, they want to tell their side of the story. They feel vindicated. They want the world to know the truth. But rebuilding won't be easy. Public opinion is split. Some still view them as con artists. Others as survivors of an unjust system. Bigger picture, celebrity, power, and accountability. This story is more than just reality TV drama. It raises bigger questions. What happens when power, celebrity, and politics collide? Should presidents have the unchecked ability to erase criminal convictions? Should fame shield people from full accountability? And what about the thousands of non-famous Americans who sit in prison for lesser crimes? In this America, who really gets justice? The Chrisleys are free. Their story is not over. But for now, they've gone from reality TV royalty to felons to presidential pardon recipients, all within 5 years. Their journey is a symbol of modern America, where celebrity meets politics and headlines blur the line between justice and show business. What do you think? Was the pardon justified, or was it a misuse of presidential power? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth breakdowns of the stories that shape our world.